These are some of the craziest lottery rules around the world. You think lotteries are all the same? Think again. Just like jackpots come in all shapes and sizes, lottery rules are different from one game to another. But countries also have their own laws about lotteries. Some of these are pretty unbelievable, but trust us, they're all true. Number 20. You can't win the lottery if you're a person with a disability. Norway. This rule was put in place to protect people with disabilities from being exploited by others. But Norway is not the only country that has serious restrictions about who can and can't play. Just take a look at number 19. Can't play if you're in debt. Greece. In Greece, individuals with outstanding debts are prohibited from purchasing lottery tickets. This rule aims to discourage people from gambling in hopes of resolving their financial difficulties. We're not going to say if we agree with that idea or not. Let us know in the comments if you have strong feelings about it. But it might be worth mentioning American lottery winner Dennis Mahurin. Dennis had been homeless since 1978. He was living in a tent in the woods in Illinois in 2013 when he bought a lottery scratch card. We can only imagine how he felt when he realized it was worth $50,000. That's an incredible amount of cash, especially if you have none of your own. But instead of splashing out, Dennis did something different. He split his winnings between all his homeless friends. Alright, he also bought himself a new tent to sleep in and got some dental work done. But handing out $100 each to as many homeless people as he could was a good deed that a lot of people were really grateful for. So, should people down on their luck not be allowed to buy lottery tickets? You tell me. The next rule about who can't play the lottery might be even weirder though. Number 18. You can't win the lottery if you're a pregnant woman. China. This rule is based on the belief that winning the lottery could harm the unborn child. We're not sure about that. I think there's no better time to win the lottery than when you're pregnant. Think that's weird? It has nothing on the next rule. Number 17. Must be alive rule. Italy. Sounds obvious, right? Well, lottery winners must be alive to claim their prize. If a winner passes away before receiving their winnings, the prize is forfeited and goes back into the prize pool. Seems unfair? But don't think you can get away with that in America either. Christina Goodenow from Oregon bought a lottery ticket back in 2005, and incredibly, it was a jackpot winner. Christina was delighted to learn that she was now a millionaire. Except, that was the one big problem. While Christina had been the person who was standing in the store buying the ticket, the owner of the credit card she was using was her mother-in-law, and she definitely wasn't with Christina at the time. In fact, she wasn't with anyone. She died a year before. When lottery officials realized Christina had used her mother-in-law's card without permission, the courts ruled that Christina's lottery ticket was purchased fraudulently, and they took her million-dollar jackpot away. In other words, dead people should stay away from the lottery, no matter where they are in the world. So in Italy, you can't play the lottery if you're dead. But in this next country, choosing the winning numbers is not enough. Number 16. Must answer skill testing question. Canada. In Canada, winners of certain lottery games must correctly answer a skill testing question to claim their prize. This requirement is to ensure that the game is based on skill rather than pure chance, as purely chance-based games would be considered illegal gambling. Weird, right? In the US, everyone loves the lottery because it's based only on luck. Still, not everything about the lottery in America is perfect. Number 15. Go public and participate in press conferences to promote the game. USA. In some American states, you're not allowed to stay anonymous if you win the lottery. So, if you win the Powerball or Mega Millions, you better check if you can hide from the press or not. For example, in California, the lottery is required by law to publish the names of winners. In Idaho, it's even worse. All the details of your win are considered public. And those are just 2 states. You better check yours if you want to stay anonymous. And it's not just the US. In Canada, it's not just your name that gets published. Your marital status, the city you're living in, your job, and even your photo all get published in the papers. But if you're in Australia or the UK, you're allowed to choose to remain anonymous. They'll only throw a press conference for you if you ask them to. But if you have a choice, should you let everyone know you're a big winner? There's a pretty clear answer to that question. No.
Oh no!
Mavis Wanchik is one winner who found that out the hard way. As a Massachusetts resident, she wasn't allowed to remain anonymous when she became the winner of the historic $758.7 million Powerball jackpot, the biggest lottery win to date in 2017. It should have been a great moment for her, but instead, the moment her name was publicized, she found herself hiding in her own home. The media surrounded her house, and there were strangers coming from all over to knock on her door and ask for money. Soon, it got so bad that police had to permanently patrol her house to make sure the harassment stopped. She was forced to sell her house and try to disappear after that. Even her adult children were being asked for stuff. In other words, if you win the lottery and have the option to stay anonymous, that's the right choice. Number 14. You can't win the lottery if you're a priest or a nun. Italy. This rule is based on the Catholic Church's teachings against gambling, similar to South Korea. Sure, it kinda makes sense, but what they don't realize is that charities might be missing out. Last year, a monk from Thailand won the lottery. It's not illegal for them to buy lottery tickets, but their religion says they're not allowed to gamble. But this was different. He said he's been purchasing lottery tickets as a way to help street vendors who'd been losing money during the pandemic. He never expected to win, but he got lucky anyway. Sources don't seem to agree on how much he won. It was between 6 million and 18 million baht. If it was 18 million, that converts to about $750,000. There was no way he was keeping it all to himself. He started by giving most of it away to the temple. Still wanting to help the local street vendors, he gave 200 baht each to all of them. Then the rest he gave to local schools, government agencies, and private charities. He said he believed the money belonged to the angels, and he only won the lottery so he could help them give it to the right causes. So maybe letting truly religious people play the lottery is a pretty good idea. The next rule on this list isn't so much about who can play, it's more about what you can play. Number 13. Banned numbers, China. In China, certain numbers are considered unlucky due to their cultural beliefs and superstitions. As a result, lottery games often avoid using numbers associated with death or bad luck, which sounds similar to the word for death in Chinese. In America, people would probably accept that rule, but they wouldn't be happy about the next one. Number 12. Unclaimed prize redistribution, Sweden. In Sweden, if a lottery prize goes unclaimed after 1 year, the funds are redirected to various charitable causes instead of being returned to the prize pool for future draws. Imagine that! In the US, the lottery is all about those big rollover jackpots. But maybe that has something to do with the next rule on our list. Number 11. No taxes on winnings. In certain countries, lottery winners are not subject to income tax. This means that winners receive the full advertised amount without any deductions. You're probably wondering where these amazing places are that let you win the lottery tax-free. Well, the UK is one. There, winners don't pay tax. The betting companies are taxed instead. Seems like a brilliant system to me. A lot of European countries don't tax lottery winnings, including Germany, Iceland, France, and Denmark. And a surprising number of South American countries can join the tax-free list, including Uruguay, Chile, Bolivia, Argentina, and Colombia. Other outliers who aren't taxed are Canadians, South Africans, and weirdly, Russians. However, in other countries, lottery prizes are subject to income tax, which can significantly reduce the overall amount received. But we don't need to tell Americans that. Often, US jackpot winners take home less than half their jackpot after taxes if they choose a lump sum. Portugal, Spain, Italy, the Netherlands, Poland, and Brazil can all join them, although not all of them are taxed as much as winners in the US. The next rule on our list cuts costs for lottery players even further. Number 10. Free entry with purchase, Singapore. In Singapore, some lottery games offer free entry to players who purchase certain products or services. These free entries give participants a chance to win prizes without any additional cost. This is to encourage people to spend money on those things. In Colombia, you might want to be a little careful about spending money after you win the lottery though. Why? Because Number 9. No repeat winners. In Colombia's Baloto lottery, if a player wins the jackpot, they're not eligible to win the jackpot again for the next 3 years. This rule aims to distribute the prizes more evenly among the players. We can't help but think someone like Evelyn Adams would think that's pretty unfair. She's become a rare back-to-back winner of the New Jersey lottery, when she won 2 years in a row. Her 1985 win was the biggest one, a whopping $3.9 million. The next year, she won another impressive jackpot, taking home $1.4 million. That's gotta feel good, right? But it wouldn't have been possible in Colombia. On the other hand, that rule might have stopped Evelyn gambling away all of her winnings in the casino. And I do mean all of it. She ended up living in a mobile home after that, so we're not going to totally judge the rules in Colombia. Sounds a little too strict? Well, this next rule is way worse. Number 8. Limited ticket sales, Singapore. In Singapore's Toto lottery, ticket sales close 4 days before the draw or when all available tickets are sold out, whichever comes first. This rule ensures that the draw can take place on time. In 2012, a man named Zhang Guoa was sentenced to 18 months in prison in China for buying lottery tickets after the drawing. Zhang had bought the tickets from a lottery seller who had already been informed of the winning numbers. Zhang claimed that he was unaware that the tickets were invalid, but the court found him guilty of fraud. This is not the only case of someone being jailed for buying lottery tickets after the drawing in China. In 2011, a woman named Wang Wan was sentenced to 15 days in detention for the same offense. So buying lottery tickets too late is seriously risky over there. And that's not the only weird rule in China. Most lottery rules only apply to one winner. But the next rule on our list is more about the greater good. Number 7. Winner sharing rule. In Spain's Christmas lottery, known as El Gordo, winners are expected to share their good fortune with others. For example, if an individual wins a significant prize, it is customary for them to distribute a portion of their winnings among friends, family, and even local communities. In fact, the El Gordo Christmas lottery in Spain took this to a new level a few years ago. The lottery has a ginormous prize pool, but it works a little differently from the lotteries you know. It's actually more like a raffle than buying a Powerball ticket, and this means prizes can be handed out in some interesting ways to thousands of people. In 2016, the town of Pinos Puente was struggling. In fact, almost a third of the town was unemployed. But when the El Gordo Christmas draw happened, 451 winning tickets were claimed in the town. The winnings were distributed to the residents. If you're thinking it's gotta be a tiny bit of cash, you're wrong. All the wins combined came to a total of $58 million. Not bad. So you can let everyone win, or you can make sure some people can never win, like the next rule on our list. Number 6. No lottery for tourists, Bhutan. In Bhutan, the national lottery is exclusively for Bhutanese citizens. Tourists and foreigners are not allowed to participate in lottery games. There are similar rules in Japan, known as the nationality requirement. It means that in Japan, only Japanese citizens are allowed to participate in the national lottery. Non-citizens and tourists are ineligible to purchase lottery tickets, unlike the US. Tourists in America will be pleased to learn that they can compete for those giant jackpots. One lucky winner of an American lottery wasn't actually American and was Elegio Kenny Garcia. Back in 1994, Elegio was staying in California as a Mexican immigrant. Even though he wasn't a US citizen, he was lucky enough to win a $27 million jackpot in the California lottery. Despite his immigration status, he was able to claim his prize, and he used it to start his own business. We're guessing those rules in Bhutan and Japan are there to keep the money in their country. But in Elegio's case, allowing him to win the lottery brought even more money into the US. Elegio spent his money wisely, but not all winners are that responsible. So, some lotteries have rules in place to help people not blow all their cash. Number 5. Monthly payment option, Brazil. In Brazil's national lottery, Mega Sena, winners have the option to receive their prizes in monthly installments rather than a lump sum payment. This installment plan is designed to help winners manage their newfound wealth responsibly. There's another similar rule in Argentina: monthly salary payments. In Argentina's Quintis 6 lottery, winners of the jackpot have the option to receive their prize money in monthly installments equivalent to a fixed percentage of the minimum wage. This helps ensure financial stability for the winners. That rule doesn't help anyone if nobody wins, though. The next rule on our list exists to make it even easier to win. We could all do with that. Number 4. Multiple winning numbers. Mexico. In Mexico's national lottery, Millete, players must match 6 numbers out of 56 to win the jackpot. However, there is also an additional 7th number, called the revancha, that offers a secondary prize tier. It's not a totally unique idea. There's a similar rule in a nearby country, Extra Ball Rule, Chile. In Chile's Lotto lottery, an additional revancha ball is drawn after the main draw. Players who match this extra ball have the opportunity to win a supplementary prize, enhancing the chances of winning. Of course, there are other ways to increase your chances of winning, as the next rule on our list proves. Number 3. Magic Words Rule, Peru. In Peru's lottery game, Tinka, players must recite a specific set of magic words before purchasing their ticket. This rule is believed to bring good luck to the players. A little luck can go a long way, but the next rule on our list means players need a totally different kind of luck. Number 2. First come, first served basis, Philippines. In some lottery games in the Philippines, ticket sales are limited to a certain number of entries. Once the tickets are sold out, no more are available for purchase, leading to a first come, first served basis for participation. This rule encourages people to rush out and buy tickets early. We'll leave it up to you to decide if that's a good idea or not. For some people, they're happier without a ticket. That's because they can't stand waiting to hear if they've won or not. The next rule on our list takes care of that problem. Number 1. Instant win prizes, South Korea. In South Korea's lottery games, certain tickets offer instant win prizes, similar to scratch-off tickets. Players can immediately see if they have won a prize without waiting for their draw results. Think these are the weirdest rules about lottery games? We're guessing you haven't watched this video yet. These are the absurd, strict rules that Powerball winners have to follow.